come to this with Chrysler?
Yes, I thought it would be. I thought it would. So just got to deal with it and just take one day at a time. Hope they settle sometime today. If not, we got to do what we have to do.
What was the general mood inside the plant this morning as this deadline approached?
Well, it was kind of sad looking. You know, it look real sad now, but have to do what we have to do, really. You know, people just got to go ahead on, take to the strike, and hope they settle soon. Because, you know, there's a lot of jobs involved with it.
Sir, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Let's bring in Sarah Webster, too, with our reporting partners at the Detroit Free Press. Sarah, you know, you've been on this story all night long, just like our reporter Rod Maloney. Talk to us about what we're seeing right now, the employees coming out. This is something many of them say they expected.
Well, what you're seeing is workers leaving the plant, and they're going to go to their cars, go home, and then they're going to return back to the factory during their picket shift. They all have 4-hour shifts, and during this period that they're on strike, they're going to collect a lot less pay, about $200 a week in strike pay.
How is this different than what we saw unfold with the UAW and GM?
I'm not sure it's very different, except for maybe people expected it a little bit more this time.
And talk to us about the issues. Again, it's similar issues that we saw with the last deal.
Well, the workers walking out of the plant today, they believe that this is about job security, keeping jobs in Michigan, and they think it's about health care. I mean, that's what they've been told, and that's why they're out here.
And, you know, we've obviously been talking with workers coming out as you have. What's the general mood you're getting from them also?
Well, it seems like workers are happy to be standing together for something, and that they're, you know, nervous about going on strike, but they believe that they're doing the right thing, that this is what they need to do to get what they think they deserve.
Prediction, any idea how long it's going to go?
Not very long.
All right, Sarah, thank you very much. Sarah Webster with our reporting partners at the Detroit Free Press. Let's try to get a few other employees to make their way out. Sir, excuse me? Okay. Some, obviously, Guy, as you know, don't want to comment on the situation. Others very willing to share their stories about how they feel about the situation. Again, at 11 a.m., those doors behind us, they opened up, employees walking out, many grabbing the picket signs here, Sonny, you can see to the right. They've got them lined up for employees to grab as they make their way out to the sidewalk. And as Sarah explained, and as we've seen with previous strikes, they all have this, you know, down to a very fine timeline. They walk in, they get their schedule, they know exactly where they're supposed to report, they know what line they're supposed to walk. They've been waiting for this, they knew it was going to happen, and as you know, they are prepared. That is the latest here, though, from the Warren stamping plant right now. Guy, I'm back to you.
All right, and in these contract talks, they want to see job security. They also want to see health care concessions. As Rod was saying earlier this morning, there was some progress overnight, but obviously just not enough.
Let's go back to Rod Maloney standing by at Auburn Hills, where there are more exits there. And Rod, what may surprise people, and maybe those that haven't been listening as closely to this, is that we've been saying all along that Chrysler does have a different set of circumstances and a different set of goals in these contract negotiations than perhaps GM does. Many people might be surprised by this, given the fact that there was a pattern to work from.
Right, and the pattern is there, Guy, but there are very different circumstances here. You start with the Viva. The Viva is going to be much smaller, and yet you consider that General Motors put $30 billion into their Viva. Well, they only paid $7 billion for the company earlier this year. The Viva is going to run maybe $7, $8, $10 billion. Where do they get that money? Do they really want to have to go to the markets to get that money? Are they motivated to get that money? That's a question. That's something we've been watching happen here. We also know that the General Motors has gone ahead and given basically product guarantees. They've told a lot of workers in the plants, and this is what Ron Gettelfinger was after. It's called job security. Put vehicles in these plants and give me time frames to how long you're going to build them there. That guarantees that there are workers who are going to have work to do. Right now, Chrysler is in that transitional phase where Cerberus is taking over. They're looking at product plans, trying to figure out what they're going to do. They've already said that they're going to be taking vehicles out of the pipeline. I've heard that the Commander could be one of the vehicles that they get rid of, maybe a couple more. If they're taking vehicles out of the pipeline, they can't guarantee that there's going to be something in that plant, and they want to have that flexibility. And that we know about Cerberus. So that clearly is going to be a stumbling block for their ability to be able to get a deal. So clearly they were not able to do that under this timeline. In fact, Guy, we've been hearing, if you look behind me here, you're going to see vehicles leaving the building. They've been honking their horns, and much like the situation with General Motors, there are union workers here who are in the tech center, and they have been honking their horns saying we're on strike here. So they're leaving here in Auburn Hills. They've been leaving at the other plants. And so it is that time. They have come, they hit the deadline, weren't able to get the contract. They've been in marathon negotiations, and as far as I know, they are still talking. They've been talking since 8:30 yesterday morning. I've got no official